Tough talk. Secretary Powell calls on the allies to stand up to Iraq. Attacks on UN inspectors in a Baghdad increasingly on edge. Cyber sabotage slows internet traffic around the world. And a father's fight to cure his son's crippling disease.
This is the CBS Evening News with Thalia Ashuris.
Good evening, everyone. 2 days before the UN weapons inspectors report on their investigations in Iraq, U.S. officials are trying to convince world leaders to present a united front against Saddam Hussein. That as President Bush prepares to once again make the case for military action against Iraq in his State of the Union address on Tuesday. Mark Knoller reports from the White House.
It was the prospect of war with Iraq that brought the Secretary of State to a World Economic Conference in Switzerland and provided him a forum in which to urge reluctant allies to stay resolved.
This is not the time for the international community, for the United Nations, to step back from the solemn responsibilities it undertook in Resolution 1441 to disarm Iraq.
Powell did not mention France or Germany by name, both now opposed to war with Iraq, but he urged those nations with doubts to show some backbone, though not in those words.
It's a message that everybody signed up to when they voted unanimously for 1441, and you can not now start shrinking because the going is getting tough.
As the world awaits Monday's report by the chief UN weapons inspectors, the White House is firm in its view that Saddam Hussein is a textbook example of defiance.
And I think the inspectors are frustrated, they're disappointed, they have not seen proactive cooperation with the inspectors, and so the burden is on Saddam Hussein, and we have to remember that.
In its public rhetoric, the administration is emphatic. The inspections are not the issue, disarming Iraq is. That's a key element of the message to be heard Tuesday night when President Bush delivers his State of the Union address. He'll forcefully lay out the case against Saddam, but stop short of giving a timetable for military action.
Well, you're assuming that the president's anxious to go to war. He is not anxious to go to war.
The White House now seems willing to go along with those nations that want to give the inspectors more time in Iraq, but not a lot more. The administration doesn't believe it'll move Saddam any closer to disarming. Thalia.
Mark Knoller, thank you. Now, in Iraq, 3 scientists today refused to meet privately with UN inspectors wanting to question them about the country's weapons programs. The inspectors also encountered violent reactions to their presence. With the details, here's Elizabeth Palmer in Baghdad.
As the UN inspectors set out from their compound, a man at the entrance armed with knives was wrestled to the ground by guards. Later on, another man tried to climb into one of their jeeps, shouting, save me," in Arabic. The animosity and the pressure is growing here. But if Iraq is the haystack, the inspectors don't appear to have found the needle. That's a relief for Saddam Hussein's officials.
The report of Mr. Blix will be grey, not white, not black.
Grey because, according to the UN, Iraq hasn't come clean on a few things. First, the inspectors are not convinced that Iraq has destroyed stocks of nerve gas and anthrax from the 1990s. The US flatly doesn't believe it has, but the Iraqis say the stocks disappeared during violent uprisings about 12 years ago. The UN also doesn't like Iraq's conditions on the use of a U-2 spy plane to look for weapons. The Iraqis have agreed to it in theory, but only if the United States and Britain ground the warplanes that patrol the no-fly zone. Finally, the UN wants to interview Iraqi scientists in private without government supervision. In principle, Iraq has agreed.
The decision to make the interview belongs to the scientist himself.
But so far, not one scientist has consented. It's not clear whether they're more nervous about being misrepresented by the UN or mistreated by Saddam Hussein. All indications are that the weapons inspector's report to the UN Security Council on Monday won't contain proof that Iraq has banned weapons. It will, however, say that the Iraqis are not cooperating fully. That's grounds for suspicion. The US will have to decide whether it's grounds for war. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, Baghdad.
If American troops do go to war with Iraq, the only certainty is that every last one of them will be a volunteer. And that is provoking some calls for a return to a military draft. Tony Guida has more.
The day before you ship out, 24-year-old high school graduate Hunter Torres is trading in his handyman skills to become an artilleryman. For Torres, the decision to enlist was a no-brainer.
I'm going to be able to give my family opportunities that no other job would offer me.
And you'll make sure that tag's on top of it. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir! Nearly 1.5 million men and women now serve in the American military. Most of them, says the Pentagon, from the same working and middle-class backgrounds as Torres. And there's the rub. The view by some that the burden of America's defense is not shared equitably.
There is a glaring absence of the affluent.
Congressman Rangel is asking Congress to reinstate the draft or require alternative national service by young people who cannot serve in the military.
If you think back to when we had the draft, there were all kinds of exemptions, and what was left trained for a period of months and then went out, adding no value, no advantage.
That remark angered veterans. Rumsfeld apologized. Nonetheless, military brass insists America's all-volunteer force is more motivated, more professional, and a better investment because they serve longer.
The idea of messing with that is sort of like taking the New York Yankees and replacing them with a bunch of men's softball players.
But many veterans like Jim McCauley see merit in Rangel's call for compulsory national service.
We've looked on the few to serve the many. I think we would be a better society if we called on the many to serve.
Compulsory national service wouldn't come cheap. Best estimates are in the billions of dollars. As for a military draft, experts say that nothing short of another Cold War or catastrophic losses of American life on future battlefields would bring it back. Tony Gaitis, CBS News, New York.
The FBI is trying to find the hacker who launched an internet attack today that is infecting tens of thousands of corporate and government computers. The virus-like worm clogged the internet and shut down networks that provide everyday conveniences, like ATM machines. Randall Pinkston has the latest.
It has been a busy, nerve-wracking weekend for computer security experts like Sharon Ruckman.
By 1 p.m. this morning, we saw over 25,000 machines infected with this, and that was at its peak.
That could be millions of individual computers. Ruckman is tracking a virus-like worm known as the SQL Slammer. It's similar to the Code Red virus of the summer of 2001. The Slammer attacks a flaw in a popular Microsoft program. The worm moves from server to server, slowing everything down, interfering with web browsing, email delivery, even ATMs.
This attack was significant in the respect that we saw very active activity in a short amount of time.
Most troubling, the SQL Slammer may have invaded at least one military server listed as belonging to an Army research laboratory. A White House cybersecurity expert says the problem is under control.
Some experts say there was no reason for the SQL server to cause any problems at all because the industry was alerted last summer. In July, Microsoft released a security bulletin warning that the SQL server is vulnerable to attack, rating the problem critical. Recommendation: patch immediately.
This is a symptom of a larger problem. It's a wake-up call that we really need to pay a lot of attention to network security. The internet is really becoming part of our lifeline. People depend on it, companies depend on it, governments depend on it.
Whether worms or viruses or hackers, attacks on computer systems are skyrocketing, from a reported 52,000 in 2001 to an expected 250,000 this year. And that doesn't account for the millions of unreported incidents. Microsoft estimates the cost of those security flaws at $500 million last year. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, New York.
For the second Saturday in a row, President Bush used his weekly radio speech to push his plans to invigorate the economy, a preview, really, of his second State of the Union address on Tuesday. Bob Moore reports.
For 20 years, Steve Wood has been selling china.
Okay, you want 12 salads?
But the order phone at his Maryland warehouse doesn't ring like it once did.
The last couple of years have been the worst years since I've been in the business.
His sales have slipped from $1 million a year to just a third of that. Wood and his business are mired in America's economic slump. Signs of worry are everywhere. Wall Street closed the week at a 3-month low. Unemployment remains at an 8-year high. And the nation's trade deficit has ballooned to an all-time record. President Bush believes the answer is tax cuts. In his weekly radio address today, the president said he'll use Tuesday's State of the Union speech to pressure Congress. to pass his 10-year, $674 billion economic stimulus plan.
When Congress acts, I will direct the Treasury to return this money to taxpayers right away, which will provide immediate help to our economy.
But the president faces a big sales job. A new CBS News New York Times poll reveals only 44% of those questioned approve of his handling of the economy, and only 36% favor tax cuts as an economic stimulus. Critics say the president's plan would funnel too much money to the rich and wouldn't create enough jobs.
So we're going to give $300 billion, enough to run the whole federal government except the Defense Department, to fewer than 2% of the American people over the next 10 years. I mean, how does that really jibe with where the economy is and what we really need?
Democrats are pushing a smaller tax cut package that would give all workers immediate rebate checks. But a political fight could delay any real relief for months, and a war with Iraq could further delay any recovery. Still, Steve Wood is trying to remain hopeful.
I think the stock market will eventually come back. I think the economy will come back.
And trying to hold on. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, a new drive for women's equality in Afghanistan. Also, Susan McDougal unshackled and fighting back against Kenneth Starr. And the real-life story of Lorenzo's oil.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a heart attack. Then I heard about Plavix, so I asked my doctor. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or a stroke if you've recently had one. Or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
Unlike Wall Street, your life doesn't stop every day at 4. Your hopes and dreams go beyond stocks and bonds. You want to guard and grow your portfolio, and things more valuable than portfolios. At Merrill Lynch, our financial advisors know your financial life goes beyond Wall Street. So their advice goes further too. Introducing Total Merrill. We see your financial life in total. We make it all add up to more.
When you run a restaurant, no matter what's on the menu, you're only serving one thing, taste. And if you can get great taste without the extra sugar, that's the best. That's why I use Equal. There's no aftertaste like with some sweeteners. You like rich, creamy cheesecake? I do. I make it at home too, and not with a ½ pound of sugar. I use Equal. Mocha Swirl. Great taste without the extra sugar. I love it. 0-calorie Equal. Have you tried it lately?
At Red Lobster's all-you-can-eat shrimp celebration, you'll never have to use silverware. You'll never have to choose between freshly breaded shrimp and scampi. And you'll never have to stop. All-you-can-eat shrimp, right now at Red Lobster.
Some mornings I was so constipated I could hardly make my deliveries. This one little pill changed my mornings. New X-Lax Ultra. Guaranteed relief by 8 a.m. means now my mornings are ultra good.
New X-Lax Ultra for ultra good mornings.
You can feel the heat in Arizona as the PGA Tour's hottest golfers fire away at the Phoenix Open. Play continues tomorrow on CBS.
A security roundup for tomorrow's Super Bowl in San Diego caught dozens of illegal immigrants. As part of the effort to protect the event, the INS investigated 15,000 people with access to the stadium, including security guards and taxi drivers. They arrested 69. None are known terrorists. In Afghanistan, the drive for equality of the sexes shifted into high gear today. Mark Phillips has that story.
The road to women's emancipation in Afghanistan actually became the road to women's emancipation today. For the first time since the fall of the Taliban, when women were barely allowed out of the house, let alone behind the wheel, a group of Afghan women have taken their driving test.
Woman is also able to drive car as like a man. This is just easy work.
The course was sponsored by a German agency seeking to enhance the role of women in Afghan society. Driving will, of course, facilitate that. But there's also a great symbolic value. In Kabul today, this was about liberation on wheels.
It's quite symbolic for women to feel that they do have choices and opportunities.
The driving test, a nervous enough ordeal at the best of times, was made even more difficult by a pack of foreign journalists watching the candidates' every move. The women had to take a theory test as well, identifying road signs in a country where hardly anybody obeys them. And as might be expected in one of the most chauvinistic societies on earth, even without the Taliban, women on the road is not a concept applauded by all. Women should wear the burqa, this taxi driver insists, which would make driving on Kabul's crowded and chaotic roads even more difficult. Just a handful of women have taken the course so far, but these brave ones seem to know they were blazing a trail for others, taking their destiny as well as the controls of a car in their hands. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
Subway officials are investigating a derailment today in the center of London. 32 passengers were slightly hurt after 4 cars derailed and hit a tunnel wall.
There's so much beauty to drink in. Don't let your eyes feeling dry, gritty, irritated stop you from enjoying it. Your eyes deserve better. They deserve Refresh brand eye drops. They're what doctors recommend most. First, Refresh relieves and soothes dry eyes, then forms a lasting shield of protection that keeps irritation out and natural moisture in. And since more doctors recommend Refresh, the choice is clear. Refresh for relief that's fast and protection that lasts.
This is an amazing age.
This is an amazing age.
We learn something new every day.
You're living in the age of Fosamax, when it's actually possible to help reverse bone loss and strengthen bone. Fosamax Once Weekly is a hormone-free tablet for postmenopausal women at risk for or with osteoporosis. Fosamax is clinically proven to help reverse bone loss. Increases in bone mass were seen as early as 3 months. You should not use Fosamax if you have certain disorders of the esophagus, are unable to stand or sit upright for 30 minutes, have severe kidney disease, or low blood calcium. Before use, talk to your doctor if you have stomach or digestive problems. Stop taking Fosamax and tell your doctor if you develop new or worsening heartburn, difficult or painful swallowing, or chest pain, because these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
One pill a week can help reverse bone loss.
Ask your doctor if Fosamax Once Weekly is right for you. This is the age of Fosamax.
This is an amazing age.
Helping reverse bone loss.
Some mornings I was so constipated I could hardly make my deliveries. This one little pill changed my mornings. New X-Lax Ultra. Guaranteed relief by 8 a.m. means now my mornings are ultra good.
New X-Lax Ultra for ultra good mornings.
Ensure
friendship.
Ensure
Laughter.
Ensure
Tears.
Ensure
Victory.
Millions of healthy people are discovering Ensure. One glass gives you complete balanced nutrition when you can't have foods like these. Ensure
Family. Wonder. Life.
Ensure to your health. Now with lutein to help support the health of your eyes.
The State of the Union and possible war with Iraq. We'll talk to White House Chief of Staff Andy Card and Senate Minority Leader Tom Daschle on Face the Nation Sunday.
A Fresno, California woman has admitted she was having an affair with the husband of Lacey Peterson, missing since Christmas Eve. Amber Fry said last night she had believed Scott Peterson was unmarried. Police have not ruled him out as a suspect in the disappearance of his pregnant wife. Susan McDougal spent almost 2 years behind bars for keeping her silence about Bill Clinton and Whitewater. Now she is having her say and pulling no punches about her jail time and about independent counsel Kenneth Starr. Jim Stewart has more.
For years, Susan McDougal didn't talk, not to prosecutors, not about Bill Clinton's role in a questionable land deal called Whitewater. For her silence, she would spend 18 months in jail for contempt of court, plus 3.5 months for fraud.
It was not easy time. It was not easy time.
But now she's telling her story in The Woman Who Wouldn't Talk. You could also call it McDougal's Revenge. It's more than her life story. It's a bitter indictment of White House independent counsel Ken Starr, who led the battle to get her to speak. The pictures of her arrest in handcuffs and leg irons made her a public and pitiable figure.
They shackled you.
Oh, yes. I was not prepared for that. I couldn't swallow. I remember the tears came in my eyes, and I kept saying, "Don't you dare cry. This was a choice you made."
But she says she really had no choice. She claims Starr's team wasn't interested in hearing the truth. They wanted her to accuse Bill and Hillary Clinton of fraud.
I believe they thought they had the goods enough to get him. Not the truth, but the goods. And I believe that they went after him with untruthful witnesses, with perjured testimony, and I think they had their story.
Jail time for McDougal was hard time, some of it spent in America's toughest women's prisons, like this one in California where she was kept in isolation.
They called it the Hannibal Lecter cell. Absolutely soundproof. You could see out, you could see in, it's totally glass.
But still, she wouldn't talk. She was finally released in 1998. She says she never heard from Bill Clinton until the end of his presidency when he pardoned her.
What would you say to it?
Thank you for my pardon. God bless you.
No animosity?
Oh, the only animosity I held is for the people who tortured us.
There's been no comment from Ken Starr on McDougal's story. And as for McDougal herself, she's back in Arkansas trying to pick up the pieces of her life. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
And coming up next on tonight's CBS Evening News, a young man named Lorenzo still defying the medical odds.
Dum da da dum. Dum da 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 dum. Ba da 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 dum. Dum da da da.
Rich, delicious V8 vegetable juice has a full serving of vegetables. Because sometimes what you eat doesn't. V8. Drink smarter.
What's the softest bath tissue for your little ones? Not this stuff. Not anymore. Because there's softer Charmin Ultra. It's stronger than the quilted stuff, even when wet. Charmin Ultra. Anything less is unbearable.
Cha-cha-cha. Charmin.
Try new Charmin Fresh Makes cloths in a tub.
Wet
means fresher.
Morning, Joe. New haircut?
No. New shoes? No.
Hey, Joe. You been working out?
No.
Hey, Joe. Shave your mustache?
Nope.
You sure that's not a new haircut?
Yes.
Did you just get back from vacation?
No.
Did you get a promotion?
No.
Did I?
No.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Ready to ask your doctor about Viagra for the first time? Find out if a free sample is right for you. To learn more, visit Viagra.com. Ask your doctor and see the difference.
This mop looks like something I've never seen before.
Grab it!
Introducing the new Grab It Mop with unique foaming action to go from touch-up to even the toughest jobs.
The soap and the spray is here. It's got the scrubbies in it. I love the spray. It's great.
It's a foaming action that actually I can see it's cleaning my floor.
When it comes to cleaning tough, sticky dirt, you can really see the Grab It difference. The Clorox mop can't compete with Grab It's deep cleaning action.
Grab it!
The new Grab It Mop. Clean it like you mean it.
You just grab it and go.
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-what, 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 do-what.
Thanks for saving the spot, boys.
Recipes for illegal drugs on the internet. An overdose from one cyber cookbook almost killed him. Eye on America, Monday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Finally, an inspiring story of a father and the son he has cared for and kept alive despite a devastating disease. It's also a story of vindication and recognition for the treatment he developed. Tonight, the true story of Lorenzo's Oil in our Weekend Journal. In a snowy suburb just outside Washington, D.C., a young man continues to defy the odds.
People will say, but how come that Lorenzo is still alive? Well, he should have died 18 years ago, you know.
Lorenzo Odone was an active, talkative child until the age of 6, when he was struck by adrenoleukodystrophy, or ALD, a disease that leads to neurological deterioration similar to those caused by a severe stroke. It affects only boys, and there is no cure. Most patients die within a decade of their diagnosis. Lorenzo is 24, and though unable to move or speak, he's in relatively good health.
I attribute that partly to Lorenzo's oil, and in part to the assiduous care he had, the very good care he had.
In the late 1980s, in a desperate search to help his son, this former Italian World Bank economist began to learn medicine and biochemistry. ALD causes the breakdown of myelin, the fatty substance that acts as insulating material around nerve fibers. Gradually, the nerves can no longer transmit messages, and movement and speech stop. To combat that, Augusto created a mixture of olive and rapeseed oils. He believed it delayed the buildup of the fatty acids thought to contribute to the nerve coat deterioration. He named his oil after his son.
Now, we had this special olive oil.
In 1992, the movie Lorenzo's Oil brought attention to the disease and the oil. While it may have given the public the impression that Lorenzo's Oil was a cure, the medical establishment was skeptical. Now, the results of a 10-year study recently concluded that Lorenzo's Oil therapy in children with early-stage ALD reduced their chances of developing nerve damage by a whopping 70%. But the same study also concluded the oil does not cure the disease.
It is not an absolute. It is part of an overall treatment program. I think it improves our overall capacity to treat the disease. It clearly, by itself, is not the answer.
Still, Augusto believes it makes a big difference in his son's health. He bears much of the burden for Lorenzo's care. 2 years ago, his wife Michaela died, worn down, he says, by the strain of caring for her son 18 hours a day.
My wife was a wonderful mother, was a tiger mother.
And Augusto is still searching for a cure, exploring ways to actually reverse the crippling deterioration of myelin around nerves.
If our efforts are successful, then Lorenzo might reacquire some functions.
And father and son have found their own way to communicate, in their own language.
Yes, sweetheart.
And that's tonight's CBS Evening News. I'm Thalia Ashuras, CBS News in New York. Good night, everyone.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News. Experience CBS News.
Major Discount Furniture, Middle Tennessee's best furniture values, is now in Dixon. Just look at the selection and check out these unbelievably low prices. Enjoy the luxury of leather. We have Leather Plus sofas for as low as $588. Full leather sofas, love seats, chairs, ottomans, and sectionals like these are all ready for immediate delivery. Check out our selection of designer lamps and accessories, all at discount prices. Come in and save at Major Discount Furniture, the new place to shop on Highway 70, Dixon.
$20,000 for a new car? Ouch. Hey, if your car runs good, looks bad, paint it. That's right, paint it and save at Maaco. Why? The Maaco Supreme Plus sale is on. Supreme Plus at half price. Now only $249. Get our prep package with a full coat of primer sealer, our famous Supreme paint service. Come on in now and get our integrated UV sunscreen for extra protection. All half price. For a limited time only, $249.
Don't miss the new hit drama Without a Trace, Thursday on CBS. It's all here.
Okay. Now after dinner, it's home.